Hello guys, in this video I will show you on how to define and use string interpolation in Dart programming. Okay, so let's start. For example, we have a variable name here and the value is, let's say, Juan de la Cruz, and we're going to print a statement here. Let's say the name of the student is, usually we do concatenation plus name. So the output will be the name of the student is Juan de la Cruz. So this kind of statement is, they called it as a bad programming. So this one is not the recommended, although the output is the same, but this kind of statement is not recommended. So in order to improve our source code, we'll be using the string interpolation. So string interpolation, we will be injecting a variable inside of this string literal, and that variable will be interpreted as a variable, not a string. So let's say, for example, we'll be putting this inside of that string literal, we'll be putting name. So if we write like this, the output will be the name of the student is name. So take note, name is not interpreted as a variable which contain Juan de la Cruz. So the output should be the name of the student is Juan de la Cruz. In order for us to define this as a placeholder or string interpolation, we'll be using the special character which is the $sign. So in this example, name will be interpreted as a variable which contain Juan de la Cruz. So if you're going to run this code, then the name of the student is Juan de la Cruz. So as you can see, it is more good, or our code is better than before. Okay, so aside from that, we can also inject statements or expressions. So how to do that? For example, we'll be defining a variable here, for example, or we'll just directly go to this statement and we'll just convert this to the sum of, let's say, $sign. So if you will insert an expression here, for example, a formula, you'll be using the open close parenthesis aside from the $sign. So $sign is only used, or open brace is not required if the placeholder is an identifier or a variable. So let's say this one is an expression. So what we need to do is, for example, 2 plus 3. Then we'll be adding a string here. For example, 1 and 3 is yan. So let's try that. And as you can see, the sum of 1 and 3 is 5. So as you can see, the placeholder is converted or computed or interpreted as an expression. So it adds the two numbers, 2 plus 3, and the result is 5. So you can also inject a variable here. For example, bar n1 is equal to 2, bar n3 n2 is equal to 5. Let's say this is the variables, or these are the variables. So let's say the sum of n1 and n2 is, so we'll be replacing 2 plus 3 into a variable, n1 plus n2. So let's try to run our application to check the output. Okay, so the output is the sum of n1 and n2 is 7. So as you can see, 2 plus 5, 7. So n1 plus n2 was converted or interpreted as a formula in our string literal. So let's say this one will be showing the actual value instead of the variable name. We'll just add $sign in here, and open and brace is optional in this case if you are going to inject a variable inside of the string. So for example, n1, n2. So let's run that. The output will be the same. Aside from that, instead of n1, the actual value will be displayed. So the sum of 2 and 5 is 7. So let's try to check this one to change that 5. Then run again. The sum of 5 and 5 is 10. So that is how we use string interpolation in our statements. So you can inject variables or expression. Just take note of the special character that we are going to use. If we are just going to inject a variable, we'll just use the $sign symbol. But if we are going to inject a statement, we'll be using the braces or the open and close braces. So that's all. Thank you for watching. See you on our next videos.